We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to your live boxing ego unpack. Yeah. We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to your live.
Oh yeah, I'm back with another one. Devin Haney, he's looking kind of small. Lean, yes. In shape, six pack, yes. But just rather small. And in this video, I'm gonna break down my thoughts. But what does it mean? Can't kick me down. You got to get up. I'm gonna tell y'all what it means in this video. And, you know, really just break it down like nobody else can, because I am the best in the business and it's not even close. Now, Devin Haney, you guys seen the clips a little bit at the beginning. Ego Weight Watchers, man. AKA ill, where I give you a look into the fighter lifestyle before, after progress pics, especially when they have an upcoming fight. Now, they did the press conference. They have a fight May 2nd. Devin Haney will fight Jose Ramirez. In case you don't know, the fight will be held, from what I'm told, at a catch weight of 144 pounds. A catch weight of 144 pounds. Now, Devin is coming from 140, even though Ryan missed weight. He did make weight, but he's been fighting at 140 the last two fights. Jose Ramirez, career 140 pounder. So for it to happen at a catch weight instead of the full 147, you know, some of these things happen in boxing. However, what we can't overlook is the Haneyacks, and the Haneyacks, they are very, very inconsistent. Perhaps some of the most inconsistent fan base in all of boxing. So I don't want to get too detracted from and derailed from the initial conversation, but I gotta spank y'all. I gotta address it. So the reality is, the Haneyacks, majority of them don't like Gervonta Tank Davis, and they always complain about Tank's fights, his every move. They try to embellish on like the Lamont Roach fight to try to make him look bad, like he lost. All this kind of goofy stuff, right? And the bottom line is, if there's a catch weight versus, let's say, Ryan Garcia for Tank Davis, they make it into a big deal, even though catch weights have existed in boxing for some time now. However, now these same individuals, just watch, study while be mad, right? These same individuals will now not utter a peep when Devin Haney is doing it. And for that, you are not real. You are fake. There's a lot of fake people in boxing media, content creation, boxing fandom, whatever group they belong to, there's a lot of fakes. When Tank had a catch weight with Ryan, the catch weight was because of Ryan, because Ryan didn't want to make 135. So he added the pound, and then that's how they got there. The rehydration clause is something different. And to be honest, when you see Ryan missing weight for Devin Haney, you see how big Ryan is, and you see just a lot of these fighters in this new generation, and they're crunching down to these little weight classes. I'm not even mad at today's generation utilizing rehydration clauses when applicable, because people are definitely getting over on the scales. Point blank, period. But again, now that Devin is fighting Ramirez at a catch weight, look for the Haneyacks to not even mention it, or if they do mention it, they're not going to make it look like a bad thing. Now back to this Ego Weight Watchers video. Sometimes we get distracted because there's a lot going on, and there's a lot that I got to unpack in these videos because there's many opinions out nowadays, right? So we got to cover all the bases. So I posted this, made this graphic. Devin Haney looks small and lean training for his comeback fight. To me, he looks rather small. I'm just being so sincere with it, right? In shape, cool, but he looks small. And some people, they're gonna scratch their head. Oh, what do you mean? He looks fine. He doesn't look small to me. Yeah. But I'm gonna, throughout this video, rock with me. I always explain myself and my stances and show y'all receipts. So I will show you the receipts of why he looks small. See, one thing that separates me from a lot of people is consistency, but also like with that consistency is I believe what I believe and I consistently believe what I believe. Just like I said, with the catch weights and rehydration clause for big fights, certain fights, maybe they're needed. I'm cool. And I've always been on wax. I've never said anything different, but then you get radical bases like the Haney Act and they'll condemn rehydration clauses and catch weights until their favorite fighter, Devin Haney or whatever base they're attached to, does it. If Canelo does it, if he does a rehydration clause, you love it. If Devin Haney does a catch weight, you love it. And that's fake to me. But I'm super consistent when it comes to these topics. So with that being said, I hold people to the standard because everybody's standard is not the same. Like, for example, look at somebody's house. The way you clean your house ain't the way I clean my house. The way I clean my house is not the same way. And different clean to some people means something different. Like, I've been to people's houses where they got banana peels on the carpet, stuff like that. So a day with no banana peels on the carpet for them might be clean, but to me, that's not clean. You know what I mean? So there's different standards to cleanliness or whatever the situation is and whatever the topic is. So I hold people to pretty much their standard kind of on a case-by-case basis. And we have tools and the internet to see like the progress. And now we live in a society where everything's on camera. So for Devin Haney's standard, I'm saying he looks small, right? I'm not saying Nick Ball or another fighter that maybe that's their frame. I'm talking about Devin Haney looks small for Devin Haney's standard, right? If you look at him recently and you look at him now, he looks, I'm not gonna say sucked up, but he just looks very, like his head, I've already talked about this in the press conference video. His head looks huge. Pause. His head looks huge and his body almost looks like it don't fit his head, like a bobblehead. I'm not even being funny. Like, it just looks a little bit disproportionate if I'm being real. So that could mean one of a few things. And that's what I'm here to talk about in this Ego Weight Watcher video. But for me, Devin Haney, he just looks smaller because I was at his fight with Regis Prograis. And I remember that particular fight and how he looked. I'm filming it, right? And I'm watching editing and watching the tape back and stuff. So when he fought Regis Prograis, as you see, Devin Haney weighed in at 165 pounds on fight night for his win versus Regis Prograis, according to the California Athletic Commission. Regis weighed 156.8 pounds. So Devin rehydrated. Keep in mind, the fight was at 140 pounds. Devin rehydrated 25 pounds. And again, if you go look through the ledger, I've made videos about this, right? Look, I've made videos about this weight. The videos are up last year, right? So that is, look, breaking. I'm all over Google. Look, 2 Box of Ego videos on Google. I told you, I'm the man. I'm the man in this piece. Breaking, Devin Haney gained 25 pounds overnight. This is why you guys gotta subscribe. I don't do this for like myself. I'm doing this for boxing fans. So for me, I've already went over it. Devin Haney, he weighed 25 pounds and gained 25 pounds. This video was done in 2023 at the tail end of it in December, right? So that's a lot of weight, you know, that's a lot of weight to gain overnight. So my thing is this, when I'm now looking at Devin Haney, it looks a bit weird, and I'm gonna explain right now. The reason why it looks weird is Devin is a snack athlete, and he was with Victor Conte, I believe, for the Regis Prograis fight. You moved up from the Lomachenko fight, which was controversial, right? You moved up from the Loma fight, 135, gave yourself a break in terms of your weight cut. You had to cut 5 less pounds, going from 135 to 140. You did that, and in doing that, you ballooned up bigger than the champion, Regis Prograis, and the career 140 pounder. So that in and of itself is a bit weird. Look, they're talking about it on Reddit. Devin Haney jumping from 140 to 165. That's an 18% increase in body weight. He blew past Zurdo's rehydration. So for a guy in the smaller weight, like Zurdo's a big dude. I've seen him and stood next to him. He's like 6'2", 6'2.5", right? He's a bigger dude, bigger frame. So weight, when you move weight around as a bigger person, like 6 foot or better, you know what I mean? Like when you get into like the big leagues, it's not as shocking. But Devin Haney coming from basically 135, you already gave yourself a break in moving to 140. And then on top of that, you're rehydrating 25 pounds. And now this was you after the Ryan Garcia fight, when you did it in studio, when it was found out that Ryan Garcia had tested positive, right? This was Devin Haney, right? Look, I mean, tell me you can't see the difference. That's why I say he looks small. Look at Devin Haney in the face now. I mean, it goes out saying, look at his face now versus him after the Ryan Garcia fight. Right? So this was you like literally weeks after. Look, okay, this was 10 months ago. Oh, it doesn't give me the exact date. So this was, oh, here it is, May 2nd. You fought Ryan on April 20th. Look at this. Look at what I'm saying to you people, right? You fought Ryan on April 20th. By May 2nd, this is how full your face was looking and how big you were looking. Right? Did you hear me out? Follow me. So a matter of weeks later, when Ryan popped, this is how you were looking. So you look huge. And you took a whole year off, so it's not like, I mean, you could do whatever you wanted with your weight, but you just were looking big, right? This carried over into like even the Crawford Madrimov fight. Devin was in the crowd. He looked big. That was August of last year. So he's been looking big. And then at some point, I guess he decided to get back to it and disciplining himself and cutting back down. You know what I mean? Cutting back down in weight, right? But he was looking pretty big. So here's the thing that's concerning to me is this is you weeks after the Ryan fight and you're blown up. And this is you when you at the time were fighting at 140 pounds. Now you're moving up to pretty much welterweight, 144 to 147. And here's the thing. They're saying that the Ryan Garcia rematch, right, will take place at 147. So one, why are you fighting Jose Ramirez at a catchweight when you should just acclimate to the 147? You know, so that decision's a bit weird, but whatever. Two, why do you look smaller if you're moving up in weight than what you looked when you were in the lighter weight classes like 140? I need somebody to intelligently break that down and make it make sense to me. You know, I'm not the smartest brother in the world, so you break it down. And look, people in my comment section saying, dude look huge versus Regis Prograis, we ain't forget. And I already went over that. So get the logic. At 140 pounds, you look massive. Both the weigh-in, and then they said you gained 25 pounds from the weigh-in where you already look big on the scales and at the face-off, right? you gain 25 pounds beyond that the very next day for the fight with Regis, right? That was at 140 pounds. Now you are I'm moving on up. You moving up, and now you look smaller than you did when you were fighting at 140, despite you get more of a cushion because you're fighting at a higher weight. For me, that doesn't really make sense, and I'm curious to see what changed. Like, the only thing that's changed is Devin is now doing 365 24/7 drug testing, which no one else is doing in boxing. So now you're on the 365 VADA 24/7, and you look smaller than you've pretty much looked before. So I don't know. I don't know the reason for this move. It could be Ryan Garcia fight. Ryan wrecked your brand, and now you have something to prove. So you just been in the gym and super focused. You know, fighters are defiant by nature, so you're just like super motivated. But to me, no matter what it is, I don't know. You guys let me know. This is not a conclusive video because I'm not Devin Haney. I'm not on his team, so I don't know what the change in direction is and all that. But all we could do is speculate. But maybe it's the Ryan Garcia fight and you feel a type of way because fans are going in and, you know, you've seen it. You look at any Devin Haney post and people are going off and saying Devin Haney glass chin, and, you know, the dad got mad. Bill Haney got mad that the DAZN host was disrespectful and didn't announce his son properly, and he was showing too much love to Ryan Garcia, called him a POS and said he was full of ish, you know, these types of things. So Devin has created this whole ordeal with Ryan, I would say, has created a very sensitive and interesting position for Devin Haney. And Devin Haney and his dad, they can say, oh, it comes with the territory. We like this. We like being the bad guy. I don't believe him at all. I don't believe him at all. Here's why. Devin did an interview and he's talking about, I'm the villain and the villain pays better. I was always the good guy / villain, but now I get to be the heel and outright be the villain, and I love it. You don't love it, because why would your dad go off on the host if y'all embraced being the villain and getting booed? Because that's all the host did was point out stuff like that and point out after the Ryan Garcia fight, your chin might be shaky. So a villain is not going to act like that. A villain is going to kind of like revel in the boos and like the fact that people are against them. Because if you're a villain, you're almost liberated. Like, a hero got to stay within certain parameters. Like, if you're a cop, if you're a good cop, you got to stay within the law. Like, you can't do stuff if the guy surrender. You're not supposed to shoot him in the head twice. You know what I mean? Like, you're supposed to let them see their day in trial and get convicted, stuff like that. A villain really is liberated, because a villain, there ain't no rules for real. If you're the Joker, you just do whatever you want. Like, who's gonna stop you? They gotta send Batman to stop you. You know what I mean? The cops can't stop you. So there's nothing villainous about Devin Haney at all. You're suing Ryan Garcia and you went that route. How is that a villain? Like, tell me what villain sues and files lawsuits. You know, it don't make sense. And the easy fix here was to really just rematch Ryan Garcia and have strict drug testing, which it looks like they are doing the drug testing, right? So that was the solution here for me. Just to give you guys further idea, this is pictures of Devin versus Regis program. So again, there's mad questions now. Like, there's mad questions. Why does Devin look huge at 140 and he's making 140? Like, I mean, be real. Y'all be real with me and tell me how this makes like sense, or what is your angle when you see Devin and he look okay. So keep in mind, he's making 140 pounds here, but then he looks like big. He looked bigger than the 140 pound champion at the time. You see, he has the WBC belt. So he moved up in weight from 135. His first fight at 140, he looked bigger than the guy who's been fighting at 140, and he has a sensational performance against him. Now you're moving up. You say in 2 fights, I can no longer make 140, so I got to move up to 47 to 40, 147 to 144-ish, you know what I mean, somewhere around there for the Ramirez fight and beyond, because you can't make 140 after 2 fights, which is pitiful, right? And then this is how he looks now, weeks ahead of the fight. Like, to me, it just looked weird. He looks significantly smaller. So I don't know if he's like overtraining because he has something to prove. So he's just like staying in the gym. I don't know. You guys let me know what it is. But I just feel like Ego Weight Watchers, I've been very reliable with the Ego Eye, aka the Eagle Eye. And you can't tell me that Devin at 140 didn't look more pronounced and like bigger. This is him on the scale. So you're at 140 and you're rehydrating 25 pounds overnight with snack and you look like this. And then now, you know, you're looking like a smaller, still lean version, but you can't tell me you don't see a difference there. You don't see a difference. So now you're doing 365, 24/7 testing, and now you look smaller. The other thing is this. The other issue is this, is on top of you're the only one doing 365 testing, people started calling you out for being a weight bully, right? There's literal videos on the internet, on YouTube, where people were showing where you were like, you're too small, you're too small, you're too little. So now the pressure is on. You know people are going to be watching you and they're going to be paying attention. But Devin at 140 looked bigger than Devin that I'm seeing at 144, which is questionable. And again, all of this happens after you have decided to do 365 testing and after people start making documentaries and calling you out over weight bullying, and you put up a big fit because Ryan popped dirty and you started accusing everybody of, you know, basically being on something. So for me, I don't know what the change in the regimen is for Devin Haney, but this is him at versus Lomachenko at 135. He looked fuller and looked like more massy. So I don't know what they're doing, or that's him at 135. I don't know what the purpose of him leaning down is whilst going up in weight. Does that make sense? Like, bro, look at this is old Devin Haney bulking up pictures, right? So you're moving up in weight, but you're getting smaller. Wouldn't it be the opposite? You guys let me know. So this is him at 140. He looked bigger. So now that you're moving up in weight, you look smaller. That, to me, I don't understand the methodology in that. You guys are going to have to explain that. Look, somebody else made it side by side. This is like older Devin. And then this is him when he was at 140. So moving up, but you look considerably smaller. Even in the Ryan Garcia fight. This is Devin Haney from the Ryan Garcia fight. He just looked more massy and like bigger. This is him, I believe, on fight week. He looked bigger. Now he looked a lot smaller, considerably smaller. Like, look at his face. You can't tell me you can't see it in his face. This is him after Ryan Garcia. And then this is him months before. Like, do you understand what I'm saying? Like, okay, you have to understand the fighters are cutting weight. They are cutting weight, right? So what did you change where you're months out from your fight, a month and a half from your May 2nd fight, and your face looks more slender and dialed in than you do on fight week and whatnot of the fight? Like, look at his face, right? And some people are like, oh, but that's on fight night. He replenished and stuff like that. Okay. But we could go to when they're at the Empire State Building, and it's still persist the point I'm talking about, right? This is him at the Empire State Building. His face still looks more full. And this was on fight week. So I don't know. Maybe it's the pressure from the Ryan Garcia fight. But if you honestly want to get in my comment section and say you can't tell the difference between Devin's face right there and that on fight week, then I don't know what to tell you. Because I could definitely see it. Because a lot of times men, when they're like athletes, they show the weight loss in their face quick. Like if I lose weight, you'll see it in my face first, right? Things like that. So I'm curious. There's a lot of questions about Devin Haney. We'll just leave it at that. He was looking bigger at 140. This was him at the press conference. And then this is him a month and a half, and he looked like tiny comparatively speaking. Yet he's moving up in weight to fight Ramirez. So why the change of plan? And what a coincidence is after people called you out and said you were a weight bully. Now all of a sudden you're keeping your weight trim. We unpacked. Live streaming can be tough, which is why I use StreamYard. Click the link in the description for StreamYard, which is an awesome tool that enables you to set up your stream with ease of use. Get great results with live streaming. It's what I use. Stream to social media with ease with StreamYard. Live streaming is here to stay. Engage with your audience using StreamYard. Great way to reach out to your audience and connect. So you need a tool that can do that.